Hi, I'm Zion.
And I'm Judah.
This is the Amateur Film Critics.
I'm dancing. I don't know why, but I am.
And today we are doing my pick of the season, which is my DVD
His
pick.
DVD
In
pick.
case y'all, yeah,
I didn't say Zion. You can only pick one movie this season, and that's the final. No.
my DVD pick. So. I'm not going to explain to you what we did because it's in multiple videos now.
Yeah.
If y'all haven't watched them. But my pick was the Brady Bunch movie, which honestly here, read the plot.
Oh, okay.
Description.
Yes. I should. Yeah. Honestly. Oh, this one is. This is a strange one. Like, I gotta say, out of all the movies we've done, this might be the strangest when you think about its concept.
Yeah, it's a pretty weird concept, but anyways, let's read the.
I just can't read this first sentence. The Bradys of the popular 70s sitcom get thrust into the 90s with a whole new set of problems. That should tell you all you need to know about this movie. They're in the 90s for some reason. The family house is in danger of being taken away by developer Larry Dittmeyer if the ever-positive brood can't come up with $20,000. Parents Mike and Carol initially don't fret until Mike has difficulty getting any of his architectural designs sold. Fearing the worst, the 6 Brady kids decide to enter a talent contest and raise the money themselves. There's a lot of things they do in this movie, and the talent contest is probably 5% of it, just to tell you all. So, again, this plot summary is very loose, kind of like with our last one.
After I first watched this I first watched this in November, probably.
Yeah.
And since then, I have just been obsessed over this movie. Like, it's just been in my mind, and it won't escape my mind. And the sequel. It's just, the plot of this is just, first of all, someone had to go into a pitch because
someone had to pitch this. How do you pitch this?
So if you compare this to other live action TV, to movies where they were trying to reboot an old TV show into a movie for this next generation. They were basically, at the time, it was a popular genre in movies to take an old TV show from the 60s and the 70s and just reboot it into this live action movie. And so a good example of this was the Flintstone film. I watched a review of this film when it came out by Siskel and Ebert, which I've mentioned.
Yeah, you mentioned them before.
Basically, they were these really famous movie critics, and so when giving their thoughts about this film and TV adaptations into movies in general, they included Wayne's World, and they said that was their favorite one of these types of film, which that is not really.
It's really loose.
That isn't
more
really
like
connected, kind of.
Like you could put that into its own category with movies based off of SNL sketches, because there are surprisingly a lot. I just learned that recently when I saw like a little news article. There are way more than you think.
But there's a lot of them.
Yeah, like That's way different than this that took an established television show and made a movie out of it. And I think this one does do it. I totally agree with you. This one does do it way differently than any of the other ones. And we're going to talk more about it, but I think one thing they try not to do is capture nostalgia. Instead, they were almost more satirical, which we'll talk about the humor a little bit more. But they were almost more satirical of the original Brady Bunch show, which, in my opinion, works. But I'm not a fan of the original Brady Bunch show. I started the first episode and turned it off after 10 minutes. I was so bored. So
So with they actually pull quite a few. There's a lot more that they pull from this than you think. Like just yesterday, I was watching an episode of the Brady Bunch for the series that I am doing. So in that episode, Greg sings a song about clowns and being dogs, which is the same song that he sings in the actual film.
That's funny. Yeah.
But only the film version and the movie version, he plays the guitar very badly. In the TV version, he actually plays it very well.
So let's get right into the characters, because there are a lot. If you didn't know, the Bradys are an 8-person family. So the first one on here is Mike. Okay, all these characters you have to say are extreme in a bit, because one, they play into the 70s
really so one thing I wanted to say is the movie really overplays not Molly are the people from this than he's like really extreme, but they also play out the world of the 1990s as really extreme as well, and so that's one thing I really like about this film. Is that they're kind of making fun of both worlds.
That's something they do. Is they really do make fun of both worlds. As far as Mike goes, like with each of these characters, like we could describe them. Mike is this dad who's always has a lesson for everything, and that's one of my favorite jokes in the entire movie. Is he will go into these completely pointless, I don't know, like teachable moments or whatever, where he gives a speech and everyone's like, yeah. and you can tell by the way it's written that it's supposed to be a joke. And I one of my favorite things throughout the entire movie is that.
Yeah, but both of the parents' subplot is kind of the same subplot, and that's really the main plot of the entire film. Is them
getting the $20,000. Like it said in the plot, he's trying to get a design thing, but every time he makes the design, he makes the same 70s house. Whether or not it's a fast food joint or a bowling.
It's
I almost called it a bowling rink. I don't remember what it's called. What's a bowling alley? That's the word. Or whatever. It's the same 70s house, which is super funny. Then you have Alice. Alice is the maid. Again, she doesn't have that much of a subplot other than she's apparently dating the butcher. Then you have Greg, whose whole thing is that he wants to get the chicks. Yeah.
To get the ladies.
Yeah.
Another subplot is another subplot with Greg is so they find out that they might lose their house. And so the children try to find their own ways to get the money. And so Greg's way is Greg is going to change his name to Johnny Bravo, which also happens to be which
cartoon.
Also yeah.
I don't.
And so they say, which actually, fun fact, the name of the cartoon was based off of the original episode of the Brady Bunch, where
you're kidding me.
Where Greg actually, yes, that's an actual fact.
Wow. That's wow.
That is a crazy fact, but
yeah, that is a crazy fact.
But so he says like he changes his name, and then when at the end where they calm Jan, where all the family talks to Jan, and Jan says they can get the money by entering the talent competition with one of Greg's songs. He has this whole ordeal where he then tells us it was bad for him to change his personality and change his name, which he doesn't actually.
He doesn't do. Like, he thinks he's so. The entire joke of his character is that he thinks he's so cool. All right, then we have Cindy, whose storyline is that she is trying to raise money for the family. I think she
her storyline is so sometimes she goes over and gets the family's mail that somehow ends up at the neighbor's house multiple times.
Yeah.
So wait. And he is also at one point playing over at the neighbor's house, even though they don't want her there. So I don't know why she also does that. But
they're very friendly with these very mean neighbors and kind of cruddy people.
And then says Cindy's main storyline though is that she keeps tattling on people.
Yes, I forgot about this. Oh my gosh, Zion, the tattling.
The tattling.
Oh, okay. So she gets told in the beginning that she shouldn't tattle on people by her father, Mike, who we all know loves to go on his life lessons rants. And so the entire movie, she's afraid to say anything because she thinks she's tattling. And it's just, oh my gosh, Zion. It's so, I totally forgot about this.
Anyway, next picture is
Marsha. This is a big one. We have to talk about her.
These are the big two.
These are the big two characters, y'all. Okay, first of all, Marsha's whole thing is that she's perfect, and I think we need to talk about Marsha and Jan a little simultaneously here. Marsha's perfect in every way, and Jan is just apparently awful to everyone, even though Jan's pretty normal.
They tell Jan off so many times. It's so hilarious. So hilarious.
And so Marsha has everything going on for her. There is Marsha tries to do what she can to gain money, and then she doesn't have that much of a storyline. Marsha does have a little bit of redemption at the end when she admits that it was Jan's idea to enter the talent competition, not her own, even though there was a little scene earlier. So but then back to Jan. Everyone hates Jan for some weird reason. There's so many. Everything Jan does is just the worst. But also at the same time, Jan is having mental breakdowns and has multiple personality disorder going on in her head. And one of her personalities, like, I think wants to kill Marsha. Like, it's really rough. It's like,
oh, Jan, it's me. It's the no. Ew, Jan Brady. It's the new
Jan
Brady.
Brady.
It's the new Jan Brady.
Yeah.
Hi everyone. It's me. It's the new Jan Brady.
Luckily, Grandma comes and just talks to her like sassily, and that gets rid of all her mental problems. Woohoo! Like, cut the crap, Jan. Slap. No, she doesn't slap her, I'm pretty sure. But she does say cut the crap, Jan, and that gets rid of the voices in her head literally forever. Why that works?
We don't know.
We already really explained this, but another thing we have on here is the humor, and I say a lot of the humor of this film comes from them being very satirical, like I said, and putting these heavily 70s, like, you know, perfect family type characters in the 90s where there are real problems and stuff like that.
Right.
And that's where a lot of humor works. And this movie is surprisingly funny.
I love this movie so much.
I know you do, Syed. But yeah, the movie, because they went satirical, and I'm going to get serious here in my, like, movie critique, but because they went serious with this, I think because they went satirical with the humor, like that, I think it works really well. Like, they do reference and they pay homage to a lot of the parts of the original show, but they aren't just trying to capture nostalgia. They're almost making this own thing by doing this and almost critiquing in a way. It's a loose critique, but they're almost critiquing in a way the ridiculousness of the original Brady Bunch family, even if it was this classic TV show and all that. You know what I mean?
Something about the humor is, I think this works way more now because nowadays we have seen more things kind of like this. We've seen more shows kind of with this style of humor, whereas back then this wasn't as common, and so anyways, my one bad thing is when the bad guy of the film, whenever they try to make him like it hurt, the scenes where they make him like it hurt,
like he got electrocuted and all that,
well, but don't really age well. But I think that's the same for that. At the time, I think those types of movies were more popular, you know?
Yeah.
Like, we have things like the Home Alone films and the NS, which came out at that time, and so...
Next thing we have to do is we have to talk about our best characters. So, Zion? There's two obvious picks. It's just really tough to pick between them.
I know. Marsha, for me.
My favorite character is gonna have to be Jan. Although it's really tough pick between Marsha and Jan. Like, legit. You can't. They're two, like, amazing characters. It's so great what they did with these characters.
So amazing.
And then we have the best scene. This is a tough one. Oh, for me, it's when they're sitting around with the mirror and Marsha's nose is throbbing. And so, like, they're all trying to be sensitive about it, but then Marsha sees it and she's like, I'll never be a teen mom. It's so funny to me. Also, any scene that has Mike going on one of his teachable moments, that's a perfect scene too.
Yeah.
Those are my two standouts. Now you go into depth on your favorite scene.
I actually have three.
Okay.
I love the scenes with the carjacker person. I love how they don't know what a carjacking is, and so
They don't know what a carjacking
I'm
is, as
not.
if people didn't steal cars in the 70s. Like,
My name's not Mom Jack. It's Greg.
oh my gosh. Ugh.
And so, yeah, I love the scenes with that. I like the scene where they go to the dance that is held at there's a cool where a lot of things happen in that. It's basically the Brady's pretty much ruined the entire dance. Basically,
Yeah,
what
a lot of things happen. So much happened.
So now it's time to rate the
rate it.
film.
Yeah.
So you give. Oh, I don't know who should say this first.
I'll go first.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a shocker. I'm giving it 4 stars.
Okay.
I mean,
okay.
I know you probably were going into this episode. You expected me to go lower. As we talked about it, it was actually kind of funny. Yeah, and yeah, it's getting 4 stars. That's my.
So for me, I have a shocking fact about this. That after I watched this multiple times, this has become my second favorite film of all time.
Oh my gosh, Zion!
I love.
No, this cannot be your second favorite film. Listen, it's a good movie.
I have like literally watched this 5 times.
Oh my gosh, Zion!
Shocking to reveal that, but I literally.
All right, well, you want to say? I think I know what your rating's gonna be. We can just.
It's a 5 out of 5. Ever since I've heard the concept of this idea and I've watched the trailer, I've been obsessed with actually watching this. And after I did, I loved it so much. But
what's your first favorite? Wait, hold up. What's your first favorite?
Number
movie?
1 is Napoleon Dynamite. Napoleon Dynamite is my first favorite.
That's disrespectful to the Brady Bunch, in my opinion. Okay. I'm sorry. I won't be mean to Napoleon Dynamite in this episode. Not to say in the future I won't have a chance to be mean to Napoleon Dynamite, but I mean, 2001: A Space Odyssey, The Bad Seeds, beautiful, wonderful, creative movies.
Those are really good films, but my favorite films are always gonna be these dumb comedy films. I love the dumb comedy films.
Well, I guess you did at least call it what it is. I didn't want to be mean and say that they're dumb comedy films, but they are in a way. I'm sorry, I'm just so shocked.
I mean, it's
second favorite film of
like
all time.
It is like how you love those very serious, very dramatic films,
Yeah, that's true. But like, I still enjoyed this film. I found it good. Yeah. I found it better than most films, considering it got a 4 stars. Right. 4 stars is actually pretty good when you think about it. Yeah,
pretty good,
especially for what this is.
Yeah. That's pretty good. But
all right.
Anyways, let's close this out here. I want to mention episode 1 is probably out.
Hopefully out, yes.
My new series that maybe was inspired after watching this film, maybe not.
It totally was. Don't lie. You watched it in November, and like a month later, you'd come up with this idea. All is Brady Bunch. I'm gonna zoom in. I don't know if they can see him that well. what all
So
is
they're
me is the
all
entire Brady
great.
Bunch collection up on that shelf up
Yeah.
there. So thank you for watching. This has
Thanks
been the
for
Amateur
watching.
Film Critics.
Goodbye, y'all.
Any other words?
Please go watch this. Go watch the Very Brady sequel. That's on HBO Max. I would, although it's not as good as the first one, it has some really funny moments in there as well. So
I totally forgot there was a sequel, and you're gonna make me watch it at some point, aren't you?
At some point I will, but please go watch those two, and goodbye, y'all.